dehydrated in the winter.
Stop the Democrats. They hate till we elected him November 8th.
Join some Henry.
Ain't nothing you can do. I said his name is Donald. Oh, Donald Trump gonna make America great again.
Thank you, Henry. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Oh, no. YouTube. Gets a little crazy. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Mary. Oh, we'll save this, Henry. We'll save that, Henry, for later. You are watching Trump Talk US. Welcome to the show. It is Saturday Q&A, that fun time where us Trump supporters just get together right here, talk about the day's events, talk about the week's events, talk about everything that's been going on. It's been a little bit of a shitstorm, so we're happy to talk about it. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Stand with POTUS PAC today. You can go to Stand. Oh, I was very close. See? Look, I'm trying to write backwards. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix the Stand with POTUS. Make it look right. Well, so let's get... Good morning, Jared. I haven't seen you all. Good to see you. Love my patriot, Jared. Let's see if this fixes it. Let's see if that's backwards properly. Let's see. Yeah! There we go. There we go. You can go to standwithpotus.com. All of the funds raised by Stand with POTUS are used to help our MAGA movement. We're doing some great things in the MAGA movement. We're putting together a MAGA lounge at CPAC for all of the MAGA people, for all of the Trump supporters to pop in, strategize, get together, meet and greet. We're looking forward to promoting events like MOAR. We're looking forward to a bunch of fun activities. And of course, we are working on a MAGA database. So these are all great projects. And I, of course, love to see your support with Stand with POTUS PAC. Please share. Don't I have people that... Grace, I wish I had people. You see? Let's talk about that for a second. I wish I had people to write backwards for me. You know, you think, with all the fancy world of them. But see, this isn't how Trumpers work, okay? Stand with POTUS is using the money that we should be using to pay somebody to write backwards for me. We're not wasting money like that. We're not establishment people, okay? We're using the money on MAGA stuff. So I'm happy to write backwards for myself. I even printed out my own FEC notice, okay? Because that's how we do. Maybe the camera will... it doesn't need to... you know what? That's as good as it's going to get, FEC. It's blurry today. Blurry. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. See, we all work together. That's what I'm talking about it. Mary's like, I'll make you some signs. People are doing a little bit of this. Everybody's clicking share right now. We're all working together to make sure we defeat Zuckerberg. All kinds of good things happening. So, some interesting news I'll chit-chat about while people start to tune in. We start getting to some conversation. Apparently, I read an article today that pop singer Moby, you might know of him, actually is saying that the CIA tried to convince him to spread negative information about President Trump because he has such a social media reach. We've got some deep state problems, you guys. Oh, look, Mary, she says she's the official sign maker for our Trump group in West Michigan. You see? You see how this movement is just full of people working hard, using their skills all over this great country to make America great again, to support the policies of our great president, President Donald J. Trump. Tell him, little Trumpy. Little Trumpy knows. Little Trumpy knows. So I'm excited. Lots of things coming up. It's Black History Month, and boy, are we going to be talking about black unemployment rates down. We're going to be talking about how we, as Trump supporters, are going to help these poor Republicans finally break the Democratic plantation curse. Okay? Get in there in the urban communities and fix what we have seen as a political problem for a long time. Constitutional conservatives, libertarians, people who aren't just these two-party robots. We've been very frustrated watching the Republicans cede ground to the Democrats in urban areas, and the Democrats just call everybody else flyover states. So, you know what? Trump actually is popular everywhere. He's popular in the flyover states. He's popular in urban areas. I know they don't want to tell you that, right? They don't want to. No Trump supporters live in the cities. Yes, we do. Yes, we do live in the cities. There's lots of us, actually. And you'll see them out. You'll see the thumbs up. You'll see we're nervous in the cities because, the left has sent out their Antifas. They sent out their Black Lives Matter. If they get mad, they just start burning stuff down. We get a little nervous, okay? There was that kid in Chicago who got kidnapped and beaten for 4 days because he was a Trump supporter, trapped in a van in freezing temperatures. There's some things that we're concerned about as Trump supporters in the urban area, okay? But we're here. We're here. We're Trumping. And we're coming for you in 2018 because we're going to make this country great again. We're really only going to get one good chance at this, you guys. As we all know, when we elected President Trump, we are only going to get one good, solid chance. And this guy's it, right here. To take this country back from the brink of destruction caused by elite political elites, by cronyism, by globalism. And see, cronyism and globalism go like this. This is how they go. Like this. Hand in hand. Why? Well, cronyism is about using government to make money for yourself and to shut out your competition. It's the opposite of capitalism. Capitalism is free markets, is the markets making decisions. Cronyism is actually a form of statism. It's sort of like an oligarchical form of statism. Okay? So, globalism is also a form of statism. It's a form of statism. In fact, they're very similar in that they use economics, they use money to be the state. Monetary power becomes the state itself. And so that the statism, the centralizing power that they're trying to centralize up here at the top is their big banking cabal. Their big global banking cabal. And so they try to use finance to be the state and to control everybody. And we've had the problem it's been going on and on and on. And they've made more and more advances in the world as far as centralizing power in the hands of a small group of oligarchic elites. And they are the ones who want globalism because globalism will make it easier for them to centralize even more power and to obtain the wealth and power of even larger, more individual nations, like the United States. I mean, we're the target, of course, because we have the most wealth, we have the most capacity for product, for innovation, for a strong economy going forward, and the dollar, of course, the dollar. So, now, that being said, this is why we're not a big fan of the globalists, because we don't want to be beholden to some Rothschild somewhere who we didn't elect. We're sitting in some office, the little Francie Frou-Frou chairs, like, Potter in Pottersville, okay, and telling people what to do by manipulating money. We don't want that. Nobody really wants that. The Occupy Wall Street people didn't want that. And then they became Democrats, and then they became statists, and now they hate everything we're doing that actually is bringing down the exact cronyism that they were worried about. So it's but this is why us Trumpers continue to move forward and why we're so dedicated. We continue to be dedicated to the cause that we started by electing Donald Trump. Hey, Kim, how's it going? No, Obama's not the man. And Jared, I always feel that Obama is really just a puppet. He's just a front for some very deeper causes. But, Johnny is also, I agree. I will say this, I'm always happy to have people of differing political views in the room, as long as we don't get rude with each other and get distracted yelling at each other in the comments. And I got to block you because then you're just being rude. But as long as we're having civil discussion, I love people of all political thinking to be in the room. And I totally agree. It is a good thing. We can all have an opinion. We can have that because of a little something called America, because of a little something called the Constitution, which is something all of my fellow Trump supporters and my president support. So we're happy to have people here who engage in the beautiful rights of the Constitution. See, and this is like here, this is an example of the free market. This, all right, Crazy Straw made this straw. You can put whatever you want. I bought it with my money that I earned from something else. It's delicious. I'm totally happy with the product. Okay. And then they take that money, they pay their workers, okay? And those workers go home and they buy stuff for their family and friends, okay? Maybe food. Maybe they bought a straw, you know? Maybe their straw says Obama. That could be. That's fine. That's actually how the market works. It's actually a brilliant thing. We don't need to have politics because the market actually allows us to exchange money even when we totally disagree, wouldn't otherwise talk with each other. I can somehow still support other fellow Americans just by purchasing something I like. What? Awesome, right? That's how America works. And we want to keep that going. We want to keep that beautiful place of liberty and of mutual opportunity of open and available to people. We can't do that by having open borders because that's actually destroying the mutual opportunity. It's actually undermining those liberties. It's actually damaging our constitutional foundation. And so we are open armed to people who come here legally because they make our country great. We have to close the border though, so that the great country doesn't get ruined because we're not actually following our own laws. The rule of law is so important, you guys. The rule of law is actually everything. If we cannot follow the rule of law, how do you pick which rule and which law to follow? How do you pick which rule and which law to enforce? That really becomes the problem. At some point, you're actually in a world where, why do we even, why not the First Amendment? Why not the Second Amendment? Why don't we ignore those? If we're not following the rule of law, we're actually undermining the integrity and the enforceability of every law. So it's so important that we become, once again, a nation of laws, not a nation of manipulated political bureaucracies that follow the law as they want to. I mean, it's one of the huge problems we had under the Obama administration. It's the problem we have with sanctuary cities, that we are following the law arbitrarily, random. The kids love to say that it's random. This is how we are following the law. Sanctuary cities suggest that we follow the law randomly by law. That doesn't even make sense. I'm waiting for us to get the judges in place so that we can actually put these sanctuary city laws through the court system and prove them unconstitutional, because I don't understand how you can have a law that requires you by law to not really follow the law. I feel like there's some legal management we can deal with there. I feel like there's something legal the lawyers could get to be like and talk about, because that seems, I can't make a law that says I can't follow the law. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And it's undermining all of our other laws. Just like when we have illegal labor, it undermines all of our wages. Not following the law undermines all of our laws. Julie says, without rules of law, the strongest or the most corrupted win, and to the detriment of everybody else. Yes, Julie, this is why we have laws. You're absolutely so correct. We have laws for this exact purpose. See, it's what we call the social contract. Okay, so us in America, we have a social contract that is very delineated and enumerated in the Constitution. Because, as we know, the people make a sort of social, unspoken contract with their rulers. Now, sometimes that contract sucks, and it's a very oppressive contract. We made a good contract. We made a really good deal. Kim, welcome back. Please share if you got bumped. If you haven't already shared, Facebook is obviously trying to shadow ban a bunch of people. They're really mad that we're talking about the shadow banning now, and that we caught them. Project Veritas has some great videos out about Twitter executives being admitting that they're shadow banning people, and they're specifically slowing down or trying to suppress pro-Trump or pro-conservative sites, users. So we already are seeing that, and they're very upset. So they're on a tear. They're on a tear. So we were talking a little bit about the rule of law and the importance of it, and we had a contract. We're talking about the social contract. So our American social contract is that we agree to a few things, okay? We agree to give law enforcement some special powers that we as citizens don't have, so that they can enforce our laws, so that we don't have to all go around like vigilantes with guns, making sure that the bank isn't robbed. We're out in Jesse James' time in the old Wild West, where we all have to, they robbed the bank. Citizens, join the posse. Let's ride out and get those James brothers. It's ridiculous. We don't do that anymore. Morning, Linda. Nope, that's all right. It's Saturday. You're allowed to wake up late. Morning, Yvette. I know, Yvette. He keeps throwing people off. It's very frustrating. So we have this social contract, the rule of law. We give some authority over to the government to protect our borders and to protect us militarily. We don't go around starting wars. You know, if China starts saying, Suzzanne, I hate you. And I don't go like, all right, China, it's war. And I go fight a war with China. That's ridiculous. The government protects me from other governments. That's their job. It's part of the social contract. We have a great social contract. It works. It allows free trade because it allows us as individual citizens to have a means to address conflict. So if you come and steal, let's say, you know, you're sitting here and you say, oh, Suzzanne, I love that Trump straw. And then you just gank it, right? That's what I'm like. Enjoy my straw. And then you just like steal it and run away. Okay. And then I chase you down and I'm like, give me my straw back. We don't got to get in a fist fight. I can have a law enforcement officer come over and say, you have stolen her property. Please return the straw. And then I can press charges. We have a system. The rule of law operates, allows us to protect our property, allows us to engage in trade whatsoever. Without these rules, exactly as Julie said, it literally becomes who is the strongest, who is the most armed. It becomes Mexico. Yeah, that's kind of what we have in Mexico right now. Unfortunately, you become a failed state, and often the people who have the biggest guns and the most strength and the most ruthlessness, because it's not just who's strongest, who's most well armed, but who cares the least about human life that they're willing to sacrifice it or, you know, mistreat it. Ruthlessness becomes a huge factor when you don't have the rule of law. And this is what we see in Mexico again and again today because of the decay of the rule of law. Or, Mary, to be fair, you're right. Or Chicago. Okay? Yep. Thank you, Rick. Social contract. John Locke. Basic political science. Basic. We're at the beginning. Sometimes you got to start with the basics. Okay? You got to start with just the very basic understanding because what we unfortunately have in our education system is we're not teaching that. You know, if you asked a bunch of college students who John Locke even was, do you think they'd know? What do you think? I say no. I would put my money on no, and I would walk out with more money because I would win that bet. Because they don't know. Because we're not teaching them even the basic political science, the social contract, and so they don't understand what the Constitution is doing, what our rule of law is doing, and why we have enumerated powers specifically so that this, you know, the social contract can get out of control if you don't enumerate specifically the government powers, the powers that the government can have over you, which we did. The founders did brilliantly. Unfortunately, we don't teach anybody that. So we got to go back to that, and sometimes we got to teach it right here on Facebook Live, Rick. Sometimes that's just what we got to do. So, you know, I'm proud again and again watching my president continue to enforce the rule of law across the country. And as I've always said, yeah, Rick, you are so, as I've always said, you know, we, if you don't like a law, go through the process to change it. Rick, you are so right. It says that's because we need to teach civics. Yes, civics. How to engage in your government. We started to, you know, they used to teach Constitution. I had to learn Constitution. Should have been civics. But we had to learn the Constitution. It was a bunch of really slow other kids having to read the Constitution and not really getting it. It was a very frustrating class. I passed, of course, it's, you know, an A+, but it was very frustrating because everyone else took so long to understand that. So, Crazy Straws, crazystraws.com. Crazy Straws. You can have anything made. It was like $10. It wasn't that much plus shipping. It's hard to use. I got to be honest, Carrie. It is hard to use, but wow, look at it. It just triggers people. You can just drink stuff and trigger people so hard. Which is what I like to do with that. It's mostly just, and then you have to wash it right after you use it. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but I don't mind. I think it's Crazy Straws with a K. Crazy Straws with a K. We had Crazy Straws even when I was a kid. The company's been around a long time, Because we have a wonderful country that just kind of got messed up for a little while with progressivism, including right-wing progressivism, what they called the neoconservative movement, which was new but not conservative, and certainly expanded the powers of the government in ways that we didn't want. Since then, the country's had some trouble, but Crazy Straws kept going, so good job. So yeah, Rick, we need to teach civics, and we desperately need that, because we went from teaching people government, you had to learn U.S. government, you had to learn U.S. Constitution, to now we don't even try to teach that. And what we do teach in those classes is a lot of misinformation. You have professors teaching the Black Lives Matter narrative of a racial history of our country, and ignoring the actual history that was in place, ignoring the abolitionist movement, ignoring some of the founders who were vehemently anti-slave. Of course, they want to ignore that because it doesn't maintain their grievance industry. At some point, they'd have to admit America's a great place. It's a land of opportunity. And the only thing in your way is you. Well, I guess you don't get Democrat voters by holding them personally responsible for themselves. So apparently we have to continue to lie to children and tell them they live in a horrible country so that the Democrats can get voters. Or we just start telling everybody the truth and the Democrats don't get any more voters, and we stop this mind-numbing Democratic march towards communism. And maybe they come back towards the middle and realize they need to talk about workers, they need to talk about the middle class, the lower classes, the working classes, tax reform, putting more money back in people's pockets. They used to be liberal. In other words, they used to expect more freedom from the government. Now they want more government altogether. They can come back. At any point they can come back. But until they come back, we got to make sure they don't get any votes. And we got to take every vote they can from them. Because the Democrats are now trying to run this country into the ground and actually doing the literal opposite. The literal opposite of anything they've ever stated as a party. Welcome, Mark. Welcome, Corey. I might go to Facebook jail for truth mongering. That does happen. That does happen. That's why while I'm free, I like to, enjoy the liberties. So good. So good. Now, let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump's comments. Of course, we all know Donald Trump was accused of making inappropriate comments about shithole countries. Seems like it was just Dick Durbin actually making those accusations. And in fact, people who were at the meeting there said those statements never were made. Okay. And this is what I love the most. In the Trump nation, this is what we all did. We're like, oh yeah, Trump said shithole. We say that all the time. That's cool. And then Trump's like, I didn't say that. And we're like, get him, Trump. Fake news, right? We don't care. Nobody cared on our side. Okay. In fact, now more people follow Donald Trump. More people follow Donald Trump. Morning, Donna. How are you doing? How you doing, my friend Donna Robinson? We met at Moara. We're great patriot sisters. Love my girl. Love my girl. So, so we weren't mad at all. Nobody was mad when we thought Trump said it. Nobody was mad when we knew Trump didn't say it. In fact, it just increased Trump's followers. Let's talk about that. Mark, I'm glad you're bringing that up. Mark is calling for an ethics probe of Illinois Senator Dick Durbin for leaking information from a closed door meeting. Yes. And at this point, Mark, if I'm not corrected, it's appearing that it may very well be false information. It may very well be false information. I agree. In fact, I've seen some people, did you call Dick Durbin? I think you called and he didn't answer. He's not answering his phone right now, is he? Yep. Dan, it's so true. And if he didn't say it, we love him even more. We love him if he said it. We love him if he didn't say it. So mainstream news, what have you done? Ooh, I bumped the cord. What have you done other than increased Trump support? Okay. And, whined. They love to whine. That's really all they ever accomplish is some whining. Sad, really. It's utterly sad. Jared, I just called my car shithole the other day. Yes. We use the word all the time. So Mark, were you able to get through to Dick Durbin's office today? I will be, of course, calling him first thing Monday. Yes, leaking false information may be an ethics violation. It's a lie. He lied, and he lied in order to deliberately undermine the duly elected president of the United States, which I find pretty offensive. And frankly, I would love for Dick Durbin to step down. He's a horrible senator, you guys. He's so in the tank over there for the Democrats. He's accomplished, I don't know what he's ever accomplished in the state. It's like they roll Dick Durbin out whenever they have some whiny lefties. Well, he did accomplish one thing. He and Luis Gutierrez and, what's his face? Ayers came out and caused that riot that Mark and I were at. It was supposed to be a Trump rally. But, they incited, they riled people up. Again, told more lies, and there was a riot. So, it's interesting how so many ethics violations, keep happening in the state of Illinois with these senators who seem to be deep in the Democratic tank. And even the ones, sometimes they throw each other under Rod Blagojevich, for example, he was deep in the Democratic tank, and he ended up in jail because apparently they sometimes eat their own over there, which makes me feel a little better to be out of there. But from the frying pan into the fire, you guys, because here's Larry Hogan, Governor Larry Hogan, Republican, signing the state of Maryland on with the TPP. How can a state sign on with an international agreement? You can't. They're literally just going, oh, we meet the measurements. It's Trump. This is our Republican governor in Maryland. So, we're coming for you, rhinos. Rauner, Hogan, we're coming for you. We're going to unelect you and replace you with people who do your job, okay? That's what I mean by coming for you. We are politically coming for you. Jared, during the MLK, he's honoring Martin Luther King Day. He's making it a federal holiday. He's announcing the federal holiday. It is a whole MLK Day. Black reporter, okay? Black activist. Some might even argue black separatist. Yells at Trump, are you a racist? Are you this, that? So, and I say, some might argue black separatist because it literally goes against the actual tenets of Martin Luther King himself, who, by the way, was a Republican. To use race in this way, to undermine the duly elected president, is the opposite of what MLK was talking about, and it does a disservice to black people everywhere. So I have to wonder, Martin Luther King was about the melting pot of America and about the content of character and not the color of skin. And when people abuse that legacy and ignore it so they can engage in a racist narrative, I have to wonder, do you really believe in what Dr. King said, which is that we should be judged not by the color of our skin? Or do you actually believe that we should be judged by the color of our skin and we should therefore attack each other indefinitely based on racial division? And this is what April What's-Her-Face is really doing. Yep, Hogan giving our jobs away to God knows who. Agreed. Already called his office. Already was mad at him once. I'll be mad at him again next week. I'll call him again. Mark says he's also calling for a federal investigation of Jan Schakowsky for inciting a riot at the UIC. Wait. Yeah, we've done that. We continue to hear nothing back. Do y'all know this? Mark and I and a group of patriots. This was so funny. I'll tell this story. A group of concerned American citizens gathered together. We signed a joint letter calling for an investigation into Jan Schakowsky and her husband, Bob Creamer, and his organization, Democracy Partners, who we have seen on Project Veritas videos, openly stating that they funded violence at Trump rallies. Did they fund the violence at the Chicago Trump rally? We want an investigation. We all signed a bunch of paper. Okay, we signed the letter. When we signed it, concerned Illinois citizens. All right. Then the news calls me, tries to find out. He's like, what organization is that? And I said, what organization? He's like, concerned Illinois citizens. What organization is that? I'm like, no, sir, that's not an organization. We are genuinely concerned We are in Illinois, and we are citizens. We are concerned Illinois citizens calling for this investigation. Nothing happened. Nothing has happened. I actually got one letter back from the FEC that basically stated if you get a lawyer to rewrite your request for an investigation, we'll consider looking at it possibly. Oh, I see, FEC. So I need a lawyer to get you to do a citizen, okay, in order to protect my rights from not being violently assaulted for exercising my right to free speech in the election process. Okay, I want to listen to my candidate. I'm violently assaulted. But in order to get the Federal Election Commission to study whether or not an opposing party paid for that violence, I need to get an attorney to write a request for the FEC to do their job. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Because citizens themselves feel abandoned, and we feel left out, and we feel that we literally are left with few, if no options. And obviously only people who can afford attorneys and afford all this woo can operate our system. Now, that's not the system we were given. That's not the system the founders promised. That's not the system the Constitution lists. Yep, Mary. In other words, I have to have a big pile of money to possibly sue us. We don't need to address your concerns. And they wonder why we elected this guy. It's exactly why. It's exactly why. They're not going to stop us with their violence and all of this other stuff, because we're going to keep hitting them. And Mark, I appreciate you getting out there, calling for an ethics investigation on Dick Durbin, calling for him to resign. He deserves that. He's lying. He's race baiting. He's instigating racial division and violence in the country. I mean, at this point, deliberately leaking misinformation about the president in a way that endangers him, perhaps even physically. You know, president gets new death threats all the time now from this. So I'm sure. I forgot problems. It's time we call for an ethics investigation and more in Dick Durbin's office. Hello, Joyce from Arizona. I know you guys got a lot of exciting stuff going on in Arizona. I'm excited. Sheriff Joe is running for Senate. You guys got some great people running. You got some great MAGA candidates running down there in Arizona. And I really feel good about what we can do down there. So I'm excited to have y'all tune into the show. So we're going to keep going forward, and Mark is going to keep me totally informed about Dick Durbin going forward. I'm certain we're going to hear nothing, but we're going to call. And if you have a chance on Monday, give little Dick Durbin a call. Give little Dick Durbin a call. Just call him up. You don't have to be from his state. You don't have to be from Illinois. You can just call. Yep, Kelly Ward. Kelly Ward. You know, we have mixed feelings about Kelly Ward. I kind of like her. Sometimes I like her. Sometimes I'd like her less. I don't have hard feelings about her, really. Like, we have really rough feelings about John McCain, right? We don't like John McCain. Kelly, I'm a little vague on. So we got to get some more information. It's one of the reasons that we started this database, is so that we can get less vague on a lot of our MAGA candidates across the country. And frankly, anybody who could beat John McCain would be so great. You know, I would love to just swap Sheriff Joe out with from John McCain. John McCain out, just like a soccer. McCain out, Arpaio in. That's what I would like. Yes, Lori, welcome. Glad to see you. Yep, Dick Durbin is a lying POS. I agree. We don't like Jeff Flake. You're right. We don't like Jeff Flake at all. We hate Jeff Flake. I don't even know why you run for office with a name like Flake. I mean, can we just talk real talk for a second? You were going into a life of politics. You're like, I'm going to be in politics. What's your last name? Flake. You didn't think to change that at any point along the way? I mean, it's like literally, what if your doctor's last name was Death? What's your name? Well, my name is, Robert Death. What do you do? Well, I'm a doctor. You're Dr. Death? You can't be a doctor and be Dr. Death. No one's going to go to you. Senator Flake, exactly the same situation. Exactly. Joyce says we do jail and prison ministry. I've met Sheriff many times. Joyce, that is awesome work that you do down there. You know, it's one of the things that I'm constantly saying. We have Yeah, Dr. Payne. See? Not a good doctor. Not a good doctor name. I knew a Dr. Mustakis. One letter away from Dr. Mistakes. We would make so much fun of him. Oh, we would laugh as we drove by and went to a different doctor. Just making my point. So, Joyce, I just want to thank you for the work you do out there. We have a prison system that unfortunately has decayed so much over time that we have these individuals who are put into the system and they are not given any opportunity to remake their lives. They get out of prison. They've served their time. They are not able to vote. They are nearly unemployable, if employable at all. We've got a lot of issues. So when you can get people some hope by connecting them with a prison ministry, with a faith, with a church, with an organization, with a family who can help them reintegrate back into society, we do a lot better. We really avoid a lot of the recidivism problems that we have when we don't have those support structures. So I really, 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 yeah, it would be exactly like that, Mark, because I am as far from a monk as possible. Like a vow of silence. Can you see this person here? Okay? And with a vow of silence. Can you really see that? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. It just would never happen. I don't even know if I am quiet in my sleep. I don't think I am. I think I keep talking about Trump even while I'm sleeping. That's a definite possibility. We might have to do some video investigation of that. See if that is true. So, I suspect some fallout from, the shithole gate. But what I find fascinating is that CNN, all the news, they're like, oh, Donald Trump, it's so horrible. He says these things. Children are hearing it. And I'm going to say it on the news several times over and over and over. I'm going to bleep. I'm going to call it holes. Did you laugh at all the little ways they had to try to get around saying the word news? It's like the news is a movie spin-off of Idiocracy called Idiocracy News. Like, that's really the news we're watching. So, if you haven't seen the movie Idiocracy, take a look. I think it's a pretty funny movie. And I think it speaks to some very interesting things. It certainly talks to what happens when you're really, really stupid. But keep in mind, in that movie, they have a system by which the smartest person in the country gets leadership position. We might want to consider that. It's a meritocracy. As much as Idiocracy, a lot of things are bad in that world, they do have a meritocracy. So, hello, Penny. Hello. That's awesome, Joyce. That's awesome. The Phoenix Dream Center and LA Dream Center, we take inmates when they get out, and it goes ... And I'm sure and that's great. That's exactly. Penny, you know what I mean. Idiocracy. Great movie. Adorable. I totally would be president, not sure. I would totally do that for the country if I needed to. Would stay in the future, in a miserable future, married to my former sex worker wife to be president. What? Watch the movie. I'm gonna take a sip. So, other than the big news of Trump's alleged thing that he said that he didn't say, there's been a lot of things that went on this week, but what did we notice? So let's talk about a few things that everybody else. Exactly. I will also worry when we start watering the crops with Gatorade. Okay. Yeah, you sat through 10 minutes. It gets cuter. Some people don't like comedies. Some people. So you got to kind of. It's a slow into it. And then it's funny at the end. And then it has all the meaning in the end. It's actually a really cute movie. It's one of my rewatches. You have a list of movies you'll watch a bunch of times. I'll rewatch it because I like it. And I refer to it. Because, in fact, what are we living in today? Some trouble. So, the president actually did a lot of things. Of course, we're talking about Martin Luther King Day. The president, job numbers continue to do great. The black unemployment is down. I love what we're busy talking about. Did Donald Trump say something about this country or that country while we're ignoring great numbers coming out in the job market. Yeah, wonderful live meeting on Tuesday. Yes. And there's a lot. There were some other things that it just popped into my head that I was really excited to talk about. President Trump working on, and it slipped my mind. But I loved the meeting that we had. You guys, let's talk about immigration, and that's wonderful. Oh, I know exactly what Jared's talking about, the live meeting. Yeah, let's talk about that, Jared. Good thing to talk about. Joyce, thank you so much. So I watched that segment. I know. CNN really does make your IQ go down. I want to do a study. See if watching CNN literally makes your IQ go down. I think it does. I suspect it does. Yeah, there was a great meeting on immigration, Jared, and I want everybody to pay attention to this meeting because it's exactly what I was saying the whole time. Everyone got so freaked out at President Trump for talking about DACA, okay? For even suggesting he might cooperate with the Democrats about DACA. What happened? Had the meeting, okay? They didn't want to talk about it. They lied. They created this whole shitstorm, and now they don't want to negotiate anymore. Exactly like we said. Donald Trump says, hey, I'll talk to you about your thing if you talk to me about my thing. And they go, we're not talking about that. And he's like, all right. Well, if you've seen his tweets over the last 24 hours, you will know. Please follow the president. Please make sure you are following the president on Twitter. If you're not following, I don't know what you're doing. You're not getting the words straight from the horse's mouth. And you missed some pretty important tweets which exactly delineate the president's strategy. So what he has basically said is like, look, you guys had an opportunity to talk with me, to work your DACA stuff in, but you didn't really care. You didn't want to negotiate. You didn't want to talk about anything. You just offered a bad deal and didn't negotiate in good faith in any way. So when you're not at the negotiating table, when we make the immigration bill, you really don't have anybody to blame but yourselves, and you should now go back and explain to your constituents how you are going to shut down the government when you had an opportunity to negotiate. Listen to what I just said. When you had an opportunity to negotiate and chose not to do that, you now don't have the authority, okay, to say, oh, well, it's all Trump's fault. You have to now go back to your constituents and say, we're shutting down the government because we didn't want to negotiate. My Trumpy is brilliant as always. It's exactly what I said he was doing. It's exactly what he did. It's exactly what is now being accomplished as we speak. Watch going forward how Donald Trump puts together an immigration bill with the Republicans, gets enough support on the Republican side, even without the Democrats, and gets immigration reform passed and the wall with none of their requests, none of their talking points. Because he didn't have to negotiate with them anymore because he gave them the opportunity to negotiate and they turned it down. Art of the deal, you guys. Art of the deal. I'm just super proud of my president. And frankly, this whole what did he say, what did he didn't say is just their way of trying to rescue themselves from the strategy when they know they just got taken. They know they just got taken in this strategy. They got invited to a meeting and they kind of got their S-holes handed to them. Is what they did. That's kind of what happened. Very proud of my president this week. And many of us are. Mary, that's how we're going to get this wall built, okay? How we're going to get this wall built is by demonstrating the Democrats are do-nothings, resistors, and are useless. And Trump is not only setting, this is what's so important. Trump is setting us up, us, America, to do the work properly, to get the right Congress people, the right Senate people into office, to put the pressure on the Republicans who aren't supporting our agenda, and to defeat these Democrats. He's already putting pressure on the Democrats. He's already putting pressure on them through this move right here by showing them hypocritical to even their own causes. Yes, DACA dreamers, I agree, and I really find it frustrating that they are called dreamers, okay? Because they're illegal aliens. They came here, many of them, you know, the average age of a dreamer is 23 years old. Well, the program isn't that old, okay? So you had to be a near grown person when you got here, and sometimes even a grown person in order for that average number to work. We've been misled about this dreamer program. We've been misled about DACA. The people who are here under DACA, many of them got in by misinformation about their childhood and got in at adulthood, basically at adulthood. So it becomes a teen amnesty program. It's not, oh, the poor little baby, he was carried here by his desperate family, and now he's grown up here and we don't want to kick him out. Or he came here by himself at 17. He's not across the border with all those other undocumented, unaccompanied minors we all had to accept. Yeah. So Trump is doing some great work, and you see, I want everyone to see what he's doing with the negotiation. So we stop freaking out every time he has to make a negotiation. Because as you can see, Trump was not about to hand amnesty to a bunch of DACA people. He's literally in the process of negotiating with the Democrats, and part of that negotiation is showing them for the do-nothings that they are. Do-nothings. Do absolutely nothing. That's how they roll. So, what else do we got that went on this week that took a lot of our focus? I know Donald Trump did sign an executive order in regards to our veterans and helping them get better care and better transition care. We continue to see problems across the country in truly getting our veterans the care we need. And the Democrats are more than happy to hand money over to these DACA kids rather than actually worry about funding the Veterans Administration, making sure our veterans have medical care, all of this sort of thing. So, yeah. Very, very frustrating. I also, did anybody hear this? Because it kind of come up. Yeah, the book went away real fast, didn't it? Like, no one's even hardly talking about it. Like, they mention it occasionally in the news, but, you know, I think after WikiLeaks released it for free on PDF, I think they kind of realized that there's no point in promoting a book you're not going to make money on anymore. So they said a bunch of things like, oh, it was all these sales and all these numbers. I'm like, was that before everybody could just get it for free? Yeah. And then we quit, the news quit talking about it. So I think we kind of housed that, you guys. I think we totally did that. Yeah. Yeah. No, they totally did, but isn't that great? Isn't that great? I think you can still get it. People keep sharing it, so it's still going to be out there. What else happened this week? Donald Trump did get some good stuff. Okay. Now, coming up in the week ahead, we, of course, are getting ready to celebrate the anniversary of Trump's inauguration, or as I call it, Trump New Year. Because it's the first day of the year we had Trump. So every year we can celebrate Trump New Year on January 20th. It was a great day. I was here in D.C. Many of my fellow friends were here in D.C. We had an absolute time. Do you notice, they're having the Women's March in Vegas? Because why? Why wouldn't you come back here to have the Women's March? Why would you go to Vegas? They say, well, Vegas is a center for women's issues. And I go, well, maybe some of you women will come over to Vegas and maybe you'll rescue some teen prostitutes that are being held in basic sex servitude. Maybe you'll do something to actually help women in Las Vegas who are struggling. No, what you do is you'll go and spend a bunch of money and cause these poor waitresses and hotel staff and all these women to work for you. You probably will tip badly because liberals don't tip good. And so you'll have done nothing for women other than march around in pink pussy hats. Which, by the way, I am told pink pussy hats are racist. All women, I don't know why they decided that the hat was pink because vaginas are pink. It was pink because women's, color, this color that symbolizes women, the cancer people, the breast cancer people, they all use pink. That's why they pick pink. But now they're eating their own because the pink pussy hat apparently is racist because some people's vaginas are not pink. I mean, if you go far enough into the body, we're all pink on the inside. I hate to tell you that. Doctors will tell you it. I'm not giving you any information that doctors don't already know. But whatever. So I don't even know what they're going to wear. I'm excited to see. Oh, thank you, Mike. Thank you. Crazy Straws, crazystraws.com. You can get one yourself. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. If there's going to be infighting about the pink pussy hat or not. Because apparently they want to be mad about the racism of the pink pussy hat. So, I think it's ridiculous. I think it literally suggests, as well, it's not just that. It also offends women who don't have vaginas. Which I'm still trying to figure out. Okay. I don't understand how a pussy hat is going to offend somebody because they are identified as a woman, but they don't have a vagina. I don't know what the hat is doing to look. Let's just be honest, okay? If you have the balls to live your life, you're a man, okay? And you're tucking your friends, all right? And wearing women's clothes in public, okay? And living as a woman. I feel like you are already past the stage where I should be concerned if your snowflake butt gets offended by somebody else's hat, okay? I feel like you have already gone past, this is not something, you're not a snowflake at that point, okay? You've done some pretty major things to change your life or to change your appearance. You're kind of going balls out. I mean, I hate to use the term, the pun, but okay? So I'm pretty sure by the time you have dressed up as a woman, you're not really offended by a hat. But this is social justice warriorism. They love to be offended. They love to find things to be offended. Stupid. Stupid, 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 stupid. It's fine. My favorite is trannies for Trump. Did you know that there are transgendered people who support the president? Love them. Those are my homies. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion amongst the snowflakes, Michael. They have some real confusion. Oh, they have some real confusion. They're confused about history. Okay. They think a car called the General Lee used to own slaves, I think. I don't know what they think. They have some serious problems. They continue to tear this country down over and over with this delusions that they're constantly having. I mean, now we're supposed to all believe that Haiti and all of these, very struggling countries are beautiful, wonderful places and have in no way should be referred to in a negative light when we all know what condition they're in and frankly how they got there. We know what the Clinton Foundation did to further decay the nation of Haiti, to take advantage of an earthquake and natural disaster that destroyed even already the foundation of Haiti that was there. And then we watched the Clintons raise money to support Haiti, put that money into factories for their friends up in the northern part of Haiti where there were next to no earthquake damages, while paying next to nothing to actually help and improve the lives of the Haitians that were affected by the earthquake. That's what happened in Haiti. That's why Haitians didn't vote for Clinton. That's why Haitians were all for Trump, because they hate Hillary Clinton. They hate Hillary Clinton because this is what the Clinton Foundation did to them. It's not just this. Watch Clinton Cash. You can see for yourself. It's not, excuse me. It's not just this situation. Again and again and again, whenever the Clinton Foundation has come in to help someplace, all they really managed to help is their rich backers, donors, and friends infiltrate governments, infiltrate trade agreements, infiltrate resources that they would otherwise not have access to international agreements or other restrictions put on them. So they've literally used the Clinton Foundation as a tool to get access to nations' resources who cannot actually afford to hand resources over to these rich oligarchs and globalists. It's very, very frustrating. Jared, you know what? I think that's fake news. I think, here's what we have to understand. Did the Haitian government say that? Yeah. The Haitian government would. The Haitian government is in league with the Clinton Foundation to exploit its own people. The Haitian government is a horrible, horrible group of people, totally abusing and mistreating their population, and they take every opportunity to abscond with aid money that should be used to help the Haitian people. They run away with it. They run away with it. Yes. Yes, I agree. They just want to be offended. They just like being offended. They're looking for a fight. They're looking for a fight. No, we've had problems with the Haitian government repeatedly. In fact, during the earthquake, The earthquake happened, right after the earthquake, you recall, we had huge conflicts with the Haitian government on even how to get access to the people to help them. So here's the problem we have when we in the first world try to, quote, send aid to these countries. We have a problem of distribution because in many of the situations, these countries got into this shithole situation by governments that exploited them, that exploited their resources for their own personal gain. That's a lot of the problem Haiti has. It's not the Haitian people that are the problem. It's the Haitian government that is again and again and again and again, again and again and again and again, infinite number of times, I could say that 1,000,000 times, exploited their people for the gain of the government and for the government elites. And that happens over and over. And so this Clinton Foundation situation, they worked with the Haitian government. Are the Haitians busy saying Trump's a racist? Sure. Did they find some American Haitians to say dumb stuff? I'm sure they did. That's what the news does. They love to lie. It's very annoying. But in reality, do the Haitian people in any way think that Trump is the problem? No. These real Haitians know what situation their country's in, and they're mad about it. That's just the truth. Mike says, imagine if MLK had said his speech in this day, there would be some really confused people. Yeah. If a Republican black man came and gave a speech about the content of character, yes, Mike, there would be some very confused snowflakes. Yep. Same problem we're having in Puerto Rico. Exactly the same problem, Mary. The government is in the way. And worse in Puerto Rico in this specific sense is that the government of Puerto Rico is they're literally being used by the left as a tool to try to make the Trump administration look bad. Oh, we didn't help Puerto Rico. While they're literally holding back aid, which is sitting in warehouses. You see it. Okay. We've discovered that they're holding back electronic equipment that could be used to fix the electrical grid. They're actually slowing down the process of repairs in the country, making people are literally without power. They're keeping people without power because it allows them to continue this negative narrative about the Trump administration. These are the kind of corrupt politicians that we have in office. Now, the governor of Puerto Rico, he's a pretty good guy. But when it comes to Sao Paulo, when it comes to the mayor, when it comes to the lower level people who are democratically connected, we have some problems. Yeah. Problems. Julie says, shit equals corrupted socialist government body exploiting their own country and citizens like a slumlord from hell. Period. Again. Boom and double boom to that, Julie. That is exactly the problem. It's exactly the problem. I.e. Venezuela. It's exactly how it goes. And these are the problems we have. So, if you are watching the show, make sure you click share. If you get a chance, I'm going to need all of your guys' help. No, I don't think we're going to get rid of Jeff Sessions yet. I think we're still, there's still some usefulness, and I think we are seeing the Uranium One investigation trickle out. We see some things that are starting to trickle out. I don't think we have time to deal with Sessions at the moment. Okay, is Sessions doing his best job? Maybe not. A lot of people don't like the job he's doing. We can't see everything that he's doing, so that's one of the factors in play. But he's certainly low on the list of things we have to worry about. And frankly, there might be a strategy for keeping Sessions in place where he's at that we don't know. I don't claim to know every strategy President Trump has. But what I do know is I continue to support the president. So I need everybody to do me a favor. Go to standwithpotus.com, share standwithpotus.com on your Facebook page, on your Twitter. Let people know about Stand With POTUS. If you have, go ahead and take a look out. You've got $10, $25. Please feel free to give a donation. We are using all of those funds for MAGA movement activities. We have a lot of things on the docket coming down, so we certainly need your support. And sharing helps. So please, Stand With POTUS. I've shown you this because I showed you that. FEC. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's a rule. But go to standwithpotus.com. Share with your friends. Donate if you can. Share with your friends who you know can donate. Share. Let's raise some funds to make this MAGA movement great. And help stand with and support our president. That's what we do here on Trump Talk US. All that backwards job writing. So exciting. And that's our show. Let's jam out to little Henry. You guys, it's been a great week. It's been a great week to be a Trump supporter. Proud of all my patriots. We got some great things coming down the pike. We're getting ready to celebrate Trump's inaugural anniversary. Trump is very excited. He might get a new hat. What? Exciting stuff, you guys. Exciting stuff. Year 1. About in the books. Year 1 of Trump. It's been a great year. I'm about to start the second year. It'll be twice as great. Yep, keep sharing. Yeah, Julie, I agree. There's so much work to do, and it's hard to sort out the swamp monsters from the swamp. That's why I don't worry about Jeff yet. We'll get around to Jeff. If Jeff ain't doing his job, we'll get around to it. Right now, enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Share StanWithPhotos.com. Tune in on Monday. We got more fantastic, and it's going to be a great week of Trumping. We're going to do some streak videos. We're going to ask people what they think about the president in his first year. We got some stuff happening. So tune in to Trump Talk. Share the Trump Talk US page. Let your friends know about the show. I love all you guys. Thanks for continuing to tune in. Have a great Saturday. Don't stop now. Keep on trumping. How does it make us feel? So good. Love my trumping. She goes to that monk. Trumping out.